She thought she was marrying beneath her. A poor stranger with no name, no status, and no place in her world. Forced into a marriage she never wanted, she carried only one belief in her heart. This man would ruin her life. He lived simply, spoke little, owned nothing, or so it seemed. And every moment with him only confirmed what she already believed. But then, everything changed. One day, she followed him, and what she saw made her question everything. Luxury cars, powerful people, and the same poor man she had looked down on. Standing at the center of it all, the truth hit harder than she ever imagined, because the man she thought had nothing was hiding a reality so powerful, it would completely change her life forever. In the wealthy district of Lakeshire, life was defined by elegance, power, and reputation. Tall houses lined the streets, each one more impressive than the last. Expensive cars moved quietly along smooth roads, and every gathering felt like a display of status rather than connection. And at the center of that world lived Zara Malik. Zara wasn't just rich, she was known. The daughter of a powerful businessman, raised in luxury, admired for her beauty, and expected to marry someone equally influential. Her life was planned, controlled, perfect, at least from the outside. But perfection doesn't always mean happiness. You will marry him. Those were the words that changed everything. Zara stood still, her fingers tightening around the edge of the table. Who? She asked, her voice calm, but her heart already racing. Her father didn't hesitate. A man I trust. That's not an answer, Zara replied sharply. Her father sighed, as if this conversation was already tiring him. His name is Ayan. Zara frowned. Ayan who? Silence. That silence told her everything. He's not from here, is he? She asked. No, her father admitted. He's not. Zara let out a quiet, disbelieving laugh. So let me understand this, she said, stepping closer. You want me to marry a man no one knows, with no name, no background, no status? He has what matters, her father replied firmly. And what exactly is that? She shot back. But again, no clear answer. Zara shook her head. This is a mistake. Her father's expression hardened. This is not a request. The words hit harder than anything else. Days passed, but nothing changed. No explanation. No negotiation. Just preparation. The more Zara tried to find out about Ayan, the more frustrated she became. No one had real information. No social standing. No business ties. Nothing. To her, he wasn't just a stranger. He was a risk. A downgrade. A life she didn't choose. Finally, she decided to meet him. If she was going to be forced into this marriage, she deserved to know who she was marrying. She found him in a place she never expected. Not a grand office, not a luxurious home, but a small roadside cafe. He sat alone at a simple table, drinking tea. His clothes were clean, but plain. No expensive watch. No sign of wealth. No attempt to impress. Just quiet simplicity. Are you Ayan? Zara asked, standing in front of him. He looked up. Calm eyes. Steady presence. Yes, he said. That was it. No curiosity. No surprise. Just a simple answer. Zara crossed her arms. This marriage, she said directly, I don't want it. Ayan nodded slightly. I understand. That response caught her off guard. You understand? She repeated. Yes. No argument. No defense. No persuasion. Zara frowned. You don't even know me, she said. And you're just, okay with this? Ayan placed his cup down carefully. Some things are not about what we want, he replied calmly. They're about what we choose to accept. Zara felt irritation rise. That might work for you, she said, but I have a life. A reputation. Expectations. Ayan didn't react. He simply looked at her. Not judging. Not impressed. Just, observing. To be honest, she added, her tone sharper now, you don't seem like someone who fits into my world. Ayan nodded again. That's true. The honesty made her pause. For a second, she didn't know what to say. Then why agree to this marriage? She asked finally. Ayan's answer came quietly. Because sometimes, he said, what looks like a step down, is actually something else entirely. Zara didn't understand. And she didn't try to. Because in her mind, nothing about him made sense. The wedding day arrived faster than she expected. And just like everything else in her life, it was perfect. Elegant decorations, powerful guests, expensive arrangements, everything designed to impress. Except one thing. The groom. As Ayan stood among the crowd, dressed simply compared to the others, people noticed. Whispers spread quickly. Who is he? He doesn't look like he belongs here. This must be some kind of arrangement. Zara heard every word, and each one made her more certain. This was a mistake. As she walked toward the ceremony, her eyes briefly met Ayan's. He looked calm, unbothered, almost as if he knew something she didn't. And that feeling stayed with her, because what Zara didn't know was that Ayan wasn't just a stranger. And this marriage was about to change everything she believed about life. The wedding ended the way all perfect weddings do, with applause, smiles, and a sense of completion. At least, for everyone else. For Zara, it felt like the beginning of something she didn't understand. Or worse, something she didn't want. As the guests slowly left and the noise faded, reality began to settle in. She was married, not to someone powerful, not to someone admired, but to a man she barely knew. A man who, in her eyes, had nothing. Their new home wasn't what she expected. Zara had imagined at least some level of comfort, some effort to match her lifestyle. But instead, they arrived at a quiet house on the edge of the city. Simple, clean, but far from luxurious. "This is where you live?" she asked, unable to hide her disbelief. Ayan nodded. For now, she repeated. "What does that even mean?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he opened the door and stepped inside. Zara followed, her eyes scanning everything. Minimal furniture, plain walls, no sign of wealth, no sign of the life she was used to. "I can't live like this," she said, her voice firm. Ayan looked at her calmly. "You can," he replied. "You're just not used to it." That answer irritated her. "This isn't about being used to something," she said. "This is about standards." Ayan didn't argue. He simply nodded. Days passed, and instead of getting clearer, things became more confusing. Ayan lived a routine that made no sense to Zara. Every morning, he left early. No expensive car, no driver, just simple clothes and quiet steps out the door. "Where do you even go?" she asked one morning. "To work," he replied. "What work?" "A different kind." That was all he said. Zara grew frustrated. Nothing about him added up. He didn't behave like someone struggling, but he also didn't show any signs of success. It was like he existed between two worlds, and she couldn't understand either of them. One afternoon, unable to sit with her thoughts any longer, Zara decided to follow him. She kept her distance, careful, curious. Ayan walked through parts of the city she rarely visited, not the wealthy districts, not the polished streets, but the quieter, less noticed areas. He stopped near a small building. Not impressive, not crowded, just ordinary. Zara watched from across the street. Minutes passed. Then something unexpected happened. A car arrived. Not just any car. A luxury vehicle. Clean. Expensive. Out of place in that area. Zara frowned. What is this? A well-dressed man stepped out. Sharp suit. Confident posture. He looked around briefly, then walked straight toward Ayan. Zara leaned forward slightly, her curiosity turning into confusion. The man stopped in front of Ayan. And then, he lowered his head slightly, respectfully. Zara's breath caught. "No, that's not possible." They began talking, calmly, seriously, like equals. No, like Ayan was the one in control. Another car arrived, then another. More people. All well-dressed, all serious, all respectful. Zara's mind raced. This wasn't normal. This wasn't coincidence. This was something else. Ayan stood among them, still in his simple clothes, still calm. But now, completely different. The way they listened to him. The way they waited for his words. The way they responded. It wasn't ordinary. Zara felt something shift inside her. For the first time since the marriage. She wasn't just confused. She was unsure of everything she believed. "Who are you?" she whispered under her breath. As if sensing something, Ayan turned slightly. For a brief moment, their eyes met from a distance. Zara froze. Had he seen her? But instead of reacting, Ayan simply turned back to the conversation. As if everything was still under control. That moment stayed with her. Because now she knew. He wasn't just hiding something. He was choosing when to reveal it. That night, when he returned home, Zara was waiting. Arms crossed. Questions ready. "Where were you?" she asked immediately. Ayan placed his keys down calmly. "Working." "That's not an answer," she said. "I saw you." A pause. Just enough to change the air between them. "And?" he asked. Zara stepped closer. "Who were those people?" she demanded. "Why were they treating you like that?" Ayan looked at her. Quiet. Steady. "Because," he said slowly. They know who I am. Zara's heart skipped. Then tell me, she said. Who are you? Ayan held her gaze for a moment, then spoke. Tomorrow, he said, you'll understand everything. No explanation, no details, just a promise. And that night, Zara couldn't sleep, because for the first time, she realized the man she thought was nothing, might be everything she never expected. Zara didn't sleep that night. Ayan's words echoed in her mind again and again. Tomorrow, you'll understand everything. But how? What could possibly explain what she had seen? The way those men respected him. The way he carried himself. The way everything around him suddenly didn't make sense anymore. Morning came slower than ever. And when it did, Ayan was already ready. Dressed the same way as always. Simple. Calm. Unbothered. Come with me, he said. No explanation. Just those words. Zara hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Because now, she needed answers. They drove through the city in silence. But this time, something was different. They weren't heading toward the quiet, unnoticed areas. They were moving toward the center. The place Zara knew best. Luxury. Power. Influence. Her eyes narrowed slightly. Why are we here? She asked. Ayan didn't answer. The car stopped in front of a massive building. Tall. Modern. Impressive. One she recognized instantly. This is, she whispered, one of the biggest corporate headquarters in the city. A place where only the most powerful people walked in freely. Zara turned to him, confused. You brought me here, why? Ayan stepped out of the car, then looked at her. Come. As they approached the entrance, something happened. The security guard straightened immediately. Their posture changed. Their expressions sharpened. And then, they opened the doors without question. Without hesitation. Good morning, sir. Zara froze. Her breath caught in her throat. Because now, it wasn't just one moment. It wasn't just one coincidence. It was real. Inside, the atmosphere was even more intense. Employees moved quickly. Professionally. But as Ayan walked forward, everything slowed. People noticed him. And one by one, they greeted him. Respectfully. Sir. Good morning, sir. Welcome back, sir. Zara's world began to shift. Completely. Irreversibly. This isn't possible, she whispered. They entered a private elevator. No access card needed. No permission asked, just direct entry. The doors closed. Silence filled the space. Zara finally spoke. Her voice no longer confident. No longer proud. Just, uncertain. Who are you? Ayan looked at her. Calm as always. But this time, there was no mystery left in his eyes. My name is Ayan Rahman, he said. A pause. Then, I am the owner of this company. The words hit harder than anything before. Zara stepped back slightly. Her mind refused to accept it. This, all of this, she asked. Ayan nodded. And not just this, he added. Several companies, properties, investments. Zara's heart pounded. Because suddenly, everything made sense. The calmness, the confidence, the lack of need to impress. He wasn't simple because he had nothing. He was simple because he needed nothing. But, why? She asked. Why live like that? Why let everyone believe that I was less? Ayan finished. She nodded. Ayan looked ahead. His voice steady. Because I needed to know something, he said. Zara frowned slightly. What? He turned to her. Who would respect me, without knowing what I have? Silence. Heavy. Real. Zara felt her chest tighten. Because she knew the answer. She hadn't. I judged you, she said quietly. I looked at your clothes, your lifestyle, and I decided who you were. Ayan didn't respond immediately. Because he didn't need to. The truth was already there. I thought you were beneath me, she continued. Her voice softer now. I thought this marriage was a mistake. Ayan nodded once. And now? He asked. Zara looked at him. Really looked at him. For the first time. Not as a poor man. Not as a stranger. But as someone who had never needed validation. I was wrong, she said. Simple. Honest. Real. The elevator doors opened. Revealing a luxurious office floor. Glass walls. City view. Power in every detail. But Zara didn't look around. Her focus remained on him. Why didn't you tell me? She asked. Ayan stepped forward slowly. Because, he said. If I told you from the beginning, you would have treated me differently. The truth landed deeply. And I needed to see who you really are. Zara lowered her gaze. Because now, she understood. This wasn't just about him. It was about her. her values, her judgments, her assumptions, and for the first time in her life, she felt something she couldn't ignore. Growth. I don't expect you to forget everything overnight, Ayan said calmly. But I do expect one thing. Zara looked up. What? She asked. Learn. One word. Simple. But powerful. Zara nodded slowly. Because she knew. This wasn't just a marriage anymore. It was a chance. A chance to become someone better. Someone who sees beyond appearances. Someone who understands that value is not always visible. And as she stood there, in a world she thought she already understood, she realized something that would stay with her forever. Sometimes, the person you think is beneath you, is actually the one who shows you who you truly are. Faced with open-mouth fire,